everyone. Welcome to the next video. Today we're going to talk about a very important topic, time management. We all have 24 hours in a day, but either we have a long list of tasks that we really want to do, but we don't have enough time. If you are also one of those who's really struggling or juggling to find that good balance and learn the effective techniques of time management, so I'm going to share my top time management techniques that I have been using and that enables me to manage my time effectively. So make sure that you only take it as a tip and try to suit it to your need, your advantage, your life, and I'm sure they will be very effective, very helpful to you. So without any ado, let's get straight into the video. My tip number one is to keep a journal. I cannot emphasize how important my journal is for me when it comes to effective time management. I have a lot of things that are going in my head. As soon as I put them all onto a piece of paper, I have a clear picture of what are the important things that I have to do on that day, in that week, or let's say in the upcoming months. And it really helps me make a differentiation between what is priority, what is urgent, what is not, and then making sure that I put that in the calendar and I make sure that there is time to do those things. My next tip is calendar blocking. Either you use a very cool app that's available in market or your traditional calendars or your journal, but there has to be time blocking. What I mean by time blocking, so you put aside some time from your life, from your day, from your month for that particular task, for that particular activity. For example, if you want to do a workout, you let's say put 6 to 8 a.m. in the morning for your workout time. You want to rest, you put some block for the rest. So you know how your day is characterized, and that's very important because that's a commitment that you do to yourself, and then you're more likely to actually do that activity. You can do the calendar blocking right away. You know that you have to do some task, or you can do it the night before, or you can also do, let's say, a week in advance, so Sunday, and then you just like go through your all your days of the upcoming week, and then you block your time. I think just use whatever you want, but make sure time blocking is something that you use to manage your time effectively. My tip number 3 is prioritizing. We all have got 24 hours in a day. That's the fact, and that cannot be changed. The only thing that can be changed is to effectively allocate the time that we have to the tasks which are really important, really urgent for us, which are a priority for us. A simple technique that I use is I put all the tasks in my journal, and then I, let's say, use a scale of 1 to 3, where 1 being the most important and 3 being the least. So then I just go through those lists and then put the number. So what is the priority of those tasks? And then I know what is important, what is urgent for me versus what is not. So then I know that my time has to be first allocated to the most important and most urgent tasks that I see on that list. Now, my tip number 4 is saying no to what's not important. This not only gets you a lot of time back, but it also gives you a lot of energy, because you know that those tasks which are not serving you anything or in any manner, you've actually kept them aside and you're not doing them anymore. I know saying no is still not taken in a very positive manner in our society, in our community, but you can be the initiator. You can start it on a positive note and also educate those around you that we all should start saying no to the things which are not important and not urgent and which doesn't serve us in any way, because let's be honest, we are only going to live for a certain period of time, and we don't want to waste that on the things which is not bringing us anything. Now, a simple practice that has helped me in saying no is before committing to any task, I buy in some time. I say I'll get back to you, and then I ask myself, what is the emotion I'm feeling right now, and what is the emotion I'm going to feel once I have completed that task. If I don't feel energized, enthusiastic, and if I feel that I'm not getting or learning anything out of it, I think most probably I would just say that it's not something that I can do right now, and I would say no, and I'm sure the other person also would understand over a period of time, so then it becomes your personality trait, and then they value your time equally how you value your time. So I think that's a very effective strategy. My tip number 5 is building effective time management habits over time. I know we are all in haste. We want the results right away, but this is something that you will develop over time. So be it reading the book or a YouTube podcast on this topic, you'll have to build it up over time, and you will also have to explore and experiment what works for you. So if someone is saying that habit or that trick or tip worked for that person, necessarily doesn't mean that it'll work for you. So you really have to, build those habits for you in your personalized way. Now, my tip number 6 is keeping the distractions in check. So there's one thing which is saying no, and then the other thing which is keeping the distractions in check. We can just like scroll for hours and hours. I'm not saying that you stop scrolling, but I'm saying that if it's a distraction for you, and if you know that you can go in that loop, you have to make sure that it's in check. You make some rules for yourself that, okay, that you can only scroll for 30 minutes, or let's say you make a thumb rule that as soon as you're in your bedroom and as soon as you're lying on your bed, you're not going to scroll. Now, the first step here is to be aware of what is a distraction for you, and then eventually start building some habits or some routine to keep it in check over time. So personally, for myself, I've noticed that when I'm scrolling through the reels, it becomes really hard to stop at one point. Second example is for multitasking. I see that I'm not giving my best and I'm not producing the best of the results. So then I have put in some measures where I try to keep these distractions in check. My tip number 7 is reviewing and revising your time management techniques. So as I said in the beginning as well, you can use the tips, you can learn a lot of different habits, but at the end of the day, it's about you, how you can implement it, what's easy for you, what's not easy for you. Don't start with all these habits all at once, keep building it over time, but then reviewing and revising. So you go back and you see what's working for you and what's not working for you, and then revising those things accordingly. For example, I started using my to-do list in my phone, and then I understood that this is not somehow working for me and I'm not going back to it and checking. So then I moved to my traditional way, which is putting it on a piece of paper in my journal. That is more effective for me. So realizing what is working for you and what is not working for you. So you review and then you revise accordingly what's best for you. So at the end, it's not about having more time, but making the most out of the time that you have available at your hand, at your disposal. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you found it useful, and do not forget to share it with someone that you think be a valuable resource to. And until I see you next time, thank you. Bye-bye.